Prime Video has just dropped the first episode of an intense new series spotlighting Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as they gear up for their blockbuster September showdown. In a powerful moment, Crawford lays it all out. "It's my legacy on the line. I'm putting everything, my 41 fights, my entire boxing career into this. It's a giant risk, but greatness requires it." Reflecting on his journey, he adds, "The last risk I took changed everything. I'm hoping this one does too." This series captures the raw emotion, stakes, and drive behind a truly historic fight. Two of boxing's greatest legends of this generation, both ranked in the top 5 pound for pound and considered future first ballot Hall of Famers, are set to collide in a historic battle for undisputed supremacy. For Canelo Alvarez, the challenge lies in Terence Crawford's elusive and technical style, one that appears custom-built to dismantle his approach. Historically, what's often carried Canelo through tough fights is the fear his opponents feel. However, the two fighters who faced him without fear, employing a similar style to Crawford's, both defeated him on points. Now, with unwavering confidence and elite skill, Terence Crawford is preparing to become the third man to hand the Mexican superstar a career-defining loss. Canelo Alvarez knows the challenge ahead. "I know Crawford likes to move a lot, but I'm ready for him. I want to beat Crawford and show the world who Canelo Alvarez really is," he declared. But truthfully, is there anyone who doesn't already know? At this point, all critics can do is deny his greatness. Perhaps Canelo's words are aimed at his loudest doubters, naysayers like Oscar de la Hoya, whom he hopes to silence permanently with a dominant performance come fight night.
Because Canelo, obviously he walks on quicksand. We saw it against Skull once again. Crawford is very, he's not one-dimensional. He can move, he can box, he can, I don't know how hard he hit to keep Canelo away from him, but, I think it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight.
Ahead of this highly anticipated showdown, Golden Boy Promotions founder and former Canelo Alvarez promoter Oscar de la Hoya spoke to Fight Hub TV, commenting on the age of both fighters while also taking a subtle jab at Canelo's footwork. On September 13th, Two elite champions will collide for undisputed super middleweight supremacy in what promises to be a thrilling build-up and a legacy-defining bout. Terence Crawford will be chasing history, aiming to become the first male and only the second fighter ever to become undisputed in 3 weight classes during the 4-belt era. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez enters the second fight of his historic 4-fight deal with Riyadh season. A win would not only solidify his dominance, but also pave the way for him to complete the final 2 bouts of this major deal in 2026.
I want to get your thoughts. Canelo, Crawford, who wins and why?
Well, look, I mean, I've been in this game for such a long time, and I like to say I'm a historian. There's never been a good little man that beats a good big man. It hasn't happened. I mean, the exception is maybe Pacquiao beating me, but
when discussing the Canelo versus Crawford showdown, Oscar de la Hoya pointed to both fighters' ages, saying, "The facts are they're both over 35. I remember fighting Julio Cesar Chavez when he was 32. He was a 99-1 favorite, and people still thought he was over the hill." The Golden Boy Promotions founder was then asked if his prediction had shifted following Canelo's lackluster performance against William Skull. "Yeah, it's hard to say," De La Hoya replied. "Canelo, you know he walks on quicksand. We saw it again in the fight against Skull."
Facts are that they're over 35 years old both, and I remember I fought Chavez when he was 32 and he was 99-1, and people thought he was over the hill. So
have you changed your pick for that fight, Oscar, based on how Canelo looked against Skull?
it's hard to say.
Looking ahead to the September 13th showdown, Oscar de la Hoya shared his thoughts on Terence Crawford's skill set, acknowledging the unique challenge he poses for Canelo Alvarez. "Crawford is very versatile. He's not one-dimensional. He can move. He can box," said de la Hoya. "I'm not sure how hard he hits to keep Canelo off him, but it's definitely going to be interesting." De la Hoya added, "Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the fight." The Golden Boy Promotions founder clearly sees Crawford as a formidable opponent and questions whether Canelo has the tools to handle him. As excitement builds, Big Fight Weekend will continue delivering all the coverage leading up to and following the bout. On the other side, Crawford remains unfazed, believing there's nothing Canelo brings into the ring that he can't solve. For the highly technical Crawford, no style is too strange, complicated, or confusing to figure out. Canelo Alvarez's weight has become a growing concern heading into the fight, especially as Terence Crawford bulks up for the challenge. While adding size can be beneficial, it only works if the punching power rises with it. Canelo may not have scored a knockout in recent bouts, but his punching power remains very real, something Crawford won't want to underestimate. Crawford addressed the danger directly, saying, "Yes, he has power, but so do I. I haven't felt his power yet, and he hasn't felt mine either. It's a 50-50 fight. We can both get hurt. But one thing's for sure, I'm not going in there to lie down. I'm putting up a fight, and I'm winning." One of the biggest concerns surrounding the highly anticipated September 13th clash is Terence Crawford's rapid rise through the weight divisions. After jumping to 154 pounds and defeating Israel Madrimov to claim the WBA and WBO interim super middleweight titles, Crawford is now taking yet another leap to 168 pounds to challenge Canelo Alvarez. This quick transition has raised questions about whether such a sharp increase in weight could impact Crawford's performance. Facing a naturally bigger and stronger opponent like Canelo, who has spent years at super middleweight, could prove to be a major challenge for the Omaha, Nebraska native. Many believe that adapting to this heavier weight class requires more time and adjustment than Crawford has had. However, boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard remains confident in Crawford's abilities. Speaking with Fight Hub TV, Leonard said, "He can do it. I mean, he can do it, no doubt. Weight is a challenge, but there's always a way." With such strong belief from a legend, fans are eagerly watching to see if Crawford can defy the odds and make history once again.
You know, what about Crawford do you think can bridge the weight gap? Or like with you,
Yeah.
what did bridge the weight gap? Because a lot of people are just saying, hey, Canelo's just too big for someone like Terence.
That's true. But you know what? There's always a way. Put it that there's always a way. There's always a way to win.
There's always a way to win, said legendary former boxer Sugar Ray Leonard, recalling a similar moment in his own career. In 1988, Leonard moved up a weight class after a year of inactivity to face Canadian Donnie Lalonde and emerged victorious. "Every time he hit me, he seriously hurt me to some extent. He didn't knock me out, but he hurt me," Leonard admitted. Drawing from that experience, he suggested that Terence "Bud" Crawford must be prepared to take punishment while using his technical skills and ring IQ to overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's a leap of faith, but one that Leonard believes is possible. Years ago, there was even talk of Crawford facing Manny Pacquiao when both were active in similar weight classes.
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. Remind me if I'm wrong, but you moved up insane amounts of weight to fight Lonnie Dadon and you pulled it off.
Yeah.
How were you able to do it? And what's Crawford listening to this or Canelo's listening? What do you tell them about their plan?
Whoever wants to win will win. You know what I mean? I'm not being funny. Whoever wants to win will win.
The will overcomes everything. That's how you do it.
That's-
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Though a bout between Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford was once heavily rumored, it never materialized. A decision that, in hindsight, may have been for the best. By the time Crawford reached his prime, Pacquiao appeared to be a shadow of the fighter who once dominated multiple weight classes. Since then, Crawford has taken the reins, defeating top-tier opponents, collecting world titles across divisions, and maintaining an undefeated record. His dominance has earned him a place near the top of the pound-for-pound rankings. Now Crawford is preparing for the biggest fight and the biggest payday of his career as he takes on Canelo Alvarez in mid-September in what is sure to be a blockbuster event. Meanwhile, Pacquiao is also making headlines with his return to the ring this summer. On July 19th, the 46-year-old will face WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in Las Vegas, Nevada, a full 16 years younger than him. Despite being deep in his own training camp, Pacquiao shared his thoughts on the Crawford vs. Canelo matchup during a May 23rd interview with Fight Hub TV. When asked what advice he would offer Crawford in preparing for such a formidable, larger opponent, Pacquiao didn't hesitate. "My advice is that he would make sure to focus on speed," he said with confidence.